All right, week two of push pop. Managed to maintain the cadence for a second week in a row. Last week was all systems go for Laracon, Laracon Australia. Sort of getting all the final bits and pieces. All of the invoices have started coming in. People are needing payment for different things, so we've organised all of the T-shirts and the badges and the stickers and lanyards and what have you, doing all the final sort of running around with the speakers and making sure they're all good. Um, got my talk done. The slides I actually finished over the next day and a half or so after recording this last weekend. And so they all came together pretty nicely. And I did my first run through talk or, recording. I recorded it standing here as though I was presenting into an auditorium of 300 people. And it's a strange thing to do if you've ever given a talk, if you've ever prepared for a talk, to sort of stand in front of the computer screen to practice it. And there's a couple of jokes in there that, trying different variations of the joke and anticipating different responses for a joke and things like that. So that was a bit of a experience, but I went through the first time. So I've got 15-minute slot to kind of introduce Laracon Australia, do the welcome, do the housekeeping, and all of that kind of stuff. And so the first run through was 15 and a half minutes, so just a hair long, but not too bad. And surprisingly, I got it done in one take. I know that with all of the speaker introduction videos that I had been doing over the last 6 weeks or so, they were only 1.5, 2 minute long videos, but the amount of takes, just stumbling on your words and figuring out what you're going to say, and trying to do it in a natural way, so it's not reading off a script, and you get a lot more emotion into the words when you're kind of having a conversation a little bit more like this is a bit more flat, it's not practice, but the concept is the same, where you want to just say what you think, and you've got the feeling and the emotion behind those words. So it's been an interesting experience to kind of do that this week. I just before here recorded the sixth rehearsal of the talk from start to finish, and that's been going pretty well. I'm really excited to give the talk. I've never spoken. I've emceed the first two Laracon AUs, but I've never given a conference talk. So getting up in front of people with a structured practice talk is interesting. So it's practicing not only the words but the intonation and how they're delivered, and the timings and things like that. And so I've got feedback from a few people just to kind of hone in the message and make sure that the story of the talk flows and things like that. So shout out to JMac and Matt Stauffer and the Cash Money co-work that I've had look at it and provide me some good feedback. And I really hope that helps to kind of get get a good talk that kind of is cohesive and flows nicely, just to sort of set the tone and the energy for the conference. So um, that leads me into this week, I suppose. So this week I've got, today is Saturday at the time of recording here, so I've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days really to practice. I probably won't practice on Wednesday because I'm just not going to have time to do it. We'll be at the venue and doing setup and all kinds of stuff. Um, the speakers will be coming in and sort of getting them set up and ready to go, and getting the venue all ready to go for the conference on Thursday. So I'll try and practice it as much as I can. We fly out, my wife and my two kids, on Monday morning with my sister-in-law, who's going to help out my wife during the conference day, so that she's not again run ragged by the kids in my absence. So looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to, just after having not seen so many of these people for 4 years, to be able to be in a position to fly people like Nuna and James Brooks and Marcel over, and Daniel and Rissa from overseas, and to see some, to make some new friends, as well, and to bring in some new speakers. So we've got, people that are experienced in their fields, but first time speakers. So Josh Hanley and Greg Skirman, Sam Sennett. I'm going to forget some, of course, now that I've started naming names, but I'm looking forward to kind of having the experience without necessarily the speaking experience, and hoping that they get the opportunity to present their ideas and share some of their knowledge with the community, not only in the theatre for the 2 days, but we'll record the talks and then release them online afterwards as well. So very much looking forward to that. I've got the week off work from my day job. They've been very supportive of the conference and sort of the work that is involved on my part to kind of make that happen. So having the time to be able to do that away from work. So yeah, flying Monday. Just get settled into the hotel Monday, and then Tuesday do a bit of touristy stuff with some of the international speakers that have arrived ahead of me, and that will be there on Monday at the same time I get there, and then yeah, really get into it. So that's going to be my focus, and then come Friday night, the end of the conference, I'm just going to be completely flat because it's been 12 months of prep, and like those two days go like that really. So I'm very excited for that. Very excited to see how it all unfolds, and all of the little secrets and bits and pieces that we still have to reveal for that will be really enjoyable. So if you're coming to Laracon AU, don't be afraid to come and say hello. I don't do this because I don't want to meet people. That's the big part of not only Laracon Australia, but also US and Europe and India is really the social, the networking aspect of it, meeting people and exchanging ideas, and the real community behind it. I mean, this is the opportunity that we have, 4 times a year for the community to get together in person with each other and kind of, really feed off the energy that goes year round in the Laravel ecosystem. So yeah, if you're in Sydney for the conference next week, definitely look forward to seeing you all there. If you haven't been able to make it, or it's just not on the cards, then the talks themselves will be released after the conference. Hopefully, end of November, early December, we'll start kicking those out. So looking forward to that. I did the snowflakes. I did the snow. We did the first phase of the snowflake. You can tell this is off the cuff because I'm going back to last week. I did the snowflakes. We did all the database migrations across all of our tenants. So we now have consistency and normalization of all of the primary keys. We've got the foreign keys in place where we need to. There was back and forth this week around getting the actual snowflake generation and that kind of stuff in place, which involves taking all of those auto incrementing integers that start at 1 and go to n, to then use snowflakes so that we can kind of merge the databases together. So there was some challenges there, some recursive loops, getting stuck into a situation where I was kind of iterating over the same records over and over again, just by the way that Laravel does the chunking of those things. So got that worked out. Now I'm running into memory limitations, so I have to work through that. Whether we split the process up into smaller chunks or whatever will be a project for not next week, but the week after, because I'm off work next week. So yeah, that's that. As I said, if you're in Sydney for Laracon Australia, happy to catch up. Love to have a chat to share and experience all that Laracon has to offer with everyone, and the videos later. So that's it. See you in Sydney, or see you next week. I'll be late next week. I'll be late because I will still be in Sydney after the conference. So this may come out a few days late next week, the week after next, but it will come out. I promise. I'll push and I'll pop.